Order the local planning agency meeting on April 27th at 6:45 p.m. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're going to move along to the oath of office for our new board member, John Tompeck.
Sure. All right.
April, will you take it
Do I
away?
need to walk down there? Or can I
You
stand?
can just stand.
Okay, I can do it.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the state of Florida, and that you will bear true faith, loyalty, and allegiance to the same, and that you're entitled to hold office under the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida, and that you will faithfully perform all the duties of the local planning agency board member of the town of Sewalls Point, Florida, so help you God.
I will.
Congratulations.
Yay. All right. Thank,
Now get to work.
thank you, town clerk. Let's do roll call, please.
Mayor Mayfield,
Here.
Vice Mayor Campo,
Here.
Commissioner Fender,
Here.
Commissioner Kurzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Tompeck.
Here.
Okay. Public comment on non-agenda items. I do not see any. Town clerk, are there any that I am not seeing?
No.
Okay, thank you. Then we will move on to additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda. Seeing none, let's move on to item 4, public hearing. Oh, there's nothing there. Public hearing ordinance first reading, which is ordinance number 433, conditional restaurant uses, chapter 82, zoning, article 2. Glenn, would you be so kind as to read just the background is fine. Title?
Ordinance number 433 is an ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Sewalls Point, Florida, adopting Chapter 82 zoning, Article 2 administration, Division 3 Board of Zoning Adjustment, Subdivision 4 conditional uses to authorize the Board of Zoning Adjustment to consider conditional use applications, to establish the conditional use application process, and for other purposes, for severability, the repeal of all conflicting ordinances, codification, and an effective date.
All right, thank you, Glenn. I'm going to open it up for public hearing, public comment. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, public comment, and I will open it up for discussion amongst the board.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
We do have a presentation for you, and
Okay.
and our hope is to get this presentation done for you now, and it will streamline your opportunity to move through the process during
Okay.
the regular meeting.
Okay, excellent. That sounds
And we
great.
have Bonnie Landry here to go through the PowerPoint presentation.
And I'm going to say that we had a little confusion with the numbers because the one up says 434. So Michelle, can you just confirm that that's 433?
It's the conditional uses, yes?
It's the board adjustment. Okay, so it should read 434, so I apologize. So let's start at the beginning. So this particular ordinance amends Chapter 82-302, permitted and prohibited uses. It defines restaurants and food stores, and it provides for permitting. This is 430.
Yeah, I was going to say, excuse, that's,
Yeah, we need to go to the other one. I'm sorry, Michelle.
Okay.
That's the wrong PowerPoint.
there,
I apologize.
no problem.
Okay, so this is the first public hearing on ordinance 433, which establishes the conditional use application process. Next slide. This would amend Chapter 82, zoning, Article 2, administration. It has a companion item to 434, which is the conditional uses for restaurants and food stores. It authorizes the Board of Zoning Adjustment to review these applications. It establishes the conditional use application process. And this is the important part, it provides objective criteria to be used in reviewing these applications so it's fair to all applicants. And it provides an option for granting the use with conditions, meaning if this particular use may have a potential impact to neighboring, surrounding neighbors, you could put particular restrictions on it to mitigate those impacts. Next slide. So the objective criteria that we are offering to you is compatibility. You want to make sure the use is compatible, that it doesn't have any undue noise, that it doesn't present an odor, that the lighting and glare are contained on the site, that the signage fits with the neighborhood, that it doesn't impact traffic flow or safety in an unhappy way. It doesn't create a parking issue, and the hours of operation are compatible with the neighborhood. So some of the conditions you can have for approval is typically you want to make sure all their licenses and permits are in place. You may want to limit the hours of operation to be compatible with the neighborhood. You may want to require buffering or screening. And then you have any reasonable conditions that would prevent any adverse effects upon the neighborhood. Next slide. And our recommendation is that the LPA would recommend to the Town Commission to approve this ordinance and schedule the second and final hearing. And I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. Any discussion amongst the commission? Commissioner Campo?
So the restaurants that are currently in place are unaffected on this revision, okay?
Yeah, and the uses will be covered in the next ordinance, but you are correct, there will be grandfathered in. It will not affect existing businesses.
All right. I'll move approval.
Okay. Can I get a second? Then we'll have discussion. Okay. Discussion, Commissioner Fender?
I'm out.
You're out? Commissioner Tompeck?
Just one quick item. We don't have anything in the pipeline right now that might be affected by this in the future?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I got a motion and a second. If there's seeing no more discussion, let's call the vote.
Commissioner Fender?
Aye.
Commissioner Kurzman?
Yes.
Commissioner Tompeck?
Yes.
Mayor Mayfield?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Campo?
Aye.
All right, moving on to ordinance number 434, restaurants permitted and prohibited uses, Article 4 districts. Town Attorney, would you please read the title into the record?
Ordinance number 434 is an ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Sewalls Point, Florida, amending Chapter 82 zoning, Article 4 districts and district regulations, Division 3 Business District B1, Section 82-302 permitted and prohibited uses to address conditional use permits for restaurants and food stores and to grandfather in existing restaurants and food stores, require severability, the repeal of all conflicting ordinances, codification, and an effective date.
All right, thank you very much, Glenn. I'm going to open it up for public hearing. Seeing no comment or no, I will close the public hearing. Any discussion amongst the commission?
We do have,
Oh, I'm sorry.
unless you want, I mean, we do have an.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to see your presentation. No, it is helpful. Please, Bonnie, sorry about that.
No, it's no problem.
You can take me on.
Okay.
So the next PowerPoint is, this is a companion item to ordinance 433. This is 434, which is going to amend 82-302 permitted and prohibited uses. This is where your specifics come into play. It would give a definition of what a restaurant is and what a food store is. It provides permitting of these uses, but they would be conditional uses, which would be reviewed by the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and those provisions were in the previous ordinance. This, an important fact for Commissioner Campo, is the grandfathers, the existing restaurants and food stores that are lawfully established. And as I said before, it's a companion item to the 433. Next slide. So the definitions, as we have them, is a restaurant is an establishment where the principal business is the sale of ready-to-consume food and beverage sold to the public primarily for consumption on premises. The definition of a food store is an establishment where most of the floor area is devoted to the sale of food products for home preparation and consumption. Food store also includes convenience stores. I'm going to stop here because I know there was some discussion about the prohibition of convenience stores was in the previous code. We took a conservative stance on this in that there is some legislation in Florida that would preempt local governments from restricting gas stations, which typically are associated with convenience stores. However, that law hasn't been passed, and I would defer to legal as to whether or not you would want to consider alternative language, which he has prepared, if you would like to continue to just outright prohibit convenience stores and not have it included with food stores.
Okay, Glenn buzzed in here. Did you want to add to this, Glenn?
Yes, thank you. So it finally says, right now your code prohibits convenience stores, and that's allowable, and you can continue to prohibit. If you open the door by allowing a conditional use, then it's very difficult to later close the door and prohibit them again. So whatever decision you make, obviously you can either continue to prohibit, or you could allow them under this conditional use process. And as Bonnie says, we have two different versions that's in front of you, one continuing the prohibition and one allowing them under conditional use. She also mentioned that there's legislation pending, which may or may not pass, that is another one of these "we love you" home rules so much that we're going to preempt everything you can do regarding fuel stations, and you can't pass any laws that restrict the siting of fuel stations. Hopefully that doesn't pass, but you know, that's we'll know in the next 2 weeks whether that gets passed or not.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. Bonnie, did you want to continue?
Well, and the only thing I would add is, if you are trying to make a decision about which way to go, there is protection of you if you do leave it in there, and that if someone wanted to establish a convenience store, I'm not sure that would happen. You can limit their hours of operation and other things to where it would be less impactful to the neighborhood. But if you want to continue as is and prohibit it, I'm going to leave that up to your policy decision and advice of your attorney.
Okay, thank you. Are you
Oh, and if you weren't-
okay.
Oh, well, I guess the next slide is, the LPA would recommend that the town commission either approve the ordinance or approve the alternative language that I think is your dais,
Yeah.
434. So it does say 433, but I think you have that up there. So your choice is to as is or as the alternative language, which way you would like to go with this. And this is the first reading.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie, I appreciate it.
Well,
Discussion? Commissioner Tom Peck?
Yeah, I think I can live with this either way. It occurred to me when I was reading it that this is kind of similar to what Fort Pierce has done with short-term rentals. They know they can't outlaw short-term rentals, but they make certain conditions apply, and they make them go through the process of making sure they comply. So I can live with it either way, but if we think it's going to pass in Tallahassee, we probably should leave it in and then take care of it during the process, conditional use process.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, would you like me to offer a motion that the commission can consider?
Yes, hold on. Commissioner Fender looked like he was ready to go. That's what I was waiting on. And
Are you?
I'm just, based on Glenn's comment, I can't understand why we wouldn't continue the prohibition. It just seems
Okay.
that we can fight the battle later. We don't have to make the decision
Yeah.
now.
Okay, yes, Town Manager, if you wanted to offer a motion to,
The motion suggested is motion to approve ordinance number 434 with the additional conditional use process language consisting of restaurants and food stores other than convenience stores will be permitted by the Board of Zoning Adjustments through a conditional use permit application process as set forth in Chapter 82, Article 2, Division 3, Subdivision 4, Conditional Uses. Food stores, such as convenience stores, specializing in the retail sale of limited family conveniences and necessities, such as but not limited to groceries, drugs, gasoline, and takeout food and drinks, such as sandwiches and beer, shall not be permitted. Mayor and Commissioners, this would allow you continuity in the codes.
okay, thank you, Town Manager. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Okay, excellent. Can we go ahead and call the vote? I see no more discussion.
Commissioner Kurzman?
Yes.
Commissioner Tom Peck?
Yes?
Mayor Mayfield?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Campo?
Aye.
Commissioner Fender?
Yes.
thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, there are no other items on this agenda, and then we will save staff commissioners' comment for the next meeting unless anybody had a staff or commission comment associated with this meeting. And seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?